Balancing act fatherhood, child maintenance, and mental health. Child Maintenance Services, CMS, is a system designed to ensure financial support for children when parents are separated or divorced. However, CMS often places a disproportionate burden on non-resident fathers, primarily viewing them as financial contributors rather than holistic partners in parenting. This narrow focus on financial contributions, combined with the lack of mechanisms to ensure the well-being of both the child and the father, creates a system that may inadvertently harm the very individuals it seeks to support. This documentary will explore how Child Maintenance Services, CMS, aims to address key factors such as consent to parenthood, mental health, and early interventions, leading to a cycle of dysfunction that affects fathers, children, and society as a whole. The issue of consent and financial obligations. Let's start with the end result. A father has been issued Child Maintenance Services, CMS, obligations for a child he shares with his ex-partner. Some might think, well, he should have been financially supporting the mother in the first place. Others may not care. And some might say, okay, but there's more to the story. For those willing to look deeper, let's consider this father's situation. He has his child 3 to 4 weekends each month, from Friday evening to Sunday evening. That's 48 hours a week, consistently. During these weekends, he spends 5 waking hours with the child on Fridays, 11 hours on Saturdays, and 10 hours on Sundays, leaving him with little rest, especially when combined with his full-time job during the week. In contrast, the mother spends about 5 waking hours each weekday with the child, while the child is in school from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., giving her around 20 hours a week of parenting time. This also allows her to have her weekends mostly free for rest. So the question arises, is this division of time and responsibility truly fair under the label of co-parenting? Does it make sense that the father, who dedicates substantial weekend hours to parenting, is still obligated to pay child maintenance as if he isn't contributing? Moreover, this father is highly flexible in accommodating the mother's needs, yet this flexibility is rarely reciprocated. On top of providing financially for his own household, he is expected to contribute significantly to the household of his child's mother, despite the fact that she receives government benefits in addition to his payments. Is this fair co-parenting or something else? A man is expected to maintain his own home, provide for his child when they stay with him each week, and on top of that, support a mother who works, claims benefits, and offers no financial or emotional support to the father when needed. I thought women fought for and achieved independence, as popularized by figures like Beyoncé, right? But joking aside, in 2024, should women still be demanding financial support from men simply because it was traditional decades ago, when families lived as a single unit? The reality today is different. Households are separate, and many women are breadwinners, earning their own income. These outdated principles should be reformed. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, fair or not. Some might argue it's just the cost of having a child. But let's rewind to the time of conception. In this case, the mother chose to have the child despite the father's clear objection. He explicitly said no to becoming a parent, but the mother proceeded with the pregnancy, making an individual choice. Now, despite not consenting to fatherhood, this man is legally obligated to provide financial support. Is this truly fair? A man who did not agree to fatherhood is often still expected to provide financial and emotional support for the child, sometimes at the cost of his own well-being. In certain cases, mothers may use emotional manipulation, such as guilt-tripping the father, by reminding him of promises to not repeat his own father's mistakes. In other instances, mothers may choose to have a child without the father's consent, and later accuse him of being an absent parent when he struggles to manage responsibilities he never agreed to. This situation leads to a deeper societal question. Is it truly a man's world when fathers are put into situations that can cause profound psychological and emotional harm? Sperm, which is necessary for conception, comes from a man. Just as consent is required for sex, it should also be required for parenthood. The assumption that ejaculation implies consent to fatherhood is outdated, especially given the variety of contraceptive options available today. In some cases, women may intentionally become pregnant by men who are only seeking a casual relationship. The discussion should not be about blame, but about fairness. Men should have the right to engage in casual relationships without the automatic risk of parenthood. Otherwise, what is the purpose of contraception? This issue opens up a broader debate about reproductive rights, fairness, and responsibility for both genders. Mental health impacts on fathers. The financial and emotional strain imposed by CMS can severely impact fathers' mental health. Many fathers, especially those who never consented to fatherhood, find themselves overwhelmed by the relentless pressure to provide financially while navigating the complexities of forced fatherhood. These men are often stigmatized as absent fathers or deadbeat dads, labels that further damage their mental health and self-worth, despite their involvement in their children's lives. Fathers who are obligated to pay child support without adequate consideration of their financial stability often face severe financial stress. This stress is closely linked to mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, and substance misuse. The penalties for missed payments, which may include wage garnishment or even imprisonment, can exacerbate the situation, creating a vicious cycle where poor mental health affects a father's ability to earn and further pushes him into debt. For fathers who never wanted to be parents but are still forced into the role, the emotional toll can be immense. These men often experience feelings of helplessness, resentment, and frustration, leading to mental health issues like depression and loss of self-worth. The societal expectation that men must provide financially, regardless of circumstances, adds to this pressure and leaves them feeling isolated, unsupported, and emotionally drained. The stigma surrounding non-resident fathers contributes significantly to their deteriorating mental health. Fathers who are struggling to meet CMS obligations are often labeled as irresponsible or as deadbeat dads, even when they are actively involved in their children's lives. This societal stigma ignores the complex challenges these men face and instead paints them as neglectful. Such labeling can create a cycle of shame, guilt, and mental health decline. Men who feel trapped in a system that doesn't take their individual circumstances into account often internalize these struggles, leading to more severe consequences, including suicidal thoughts. The lack of mental health services tailored to the specific needs of fathers exacerbates this problem, further isolating them and perpetuating negative outcomes. CMS also fails to incorporate early intervention strategies that focus on adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, which highlight the importance of having both parents involved in a child's life. ACEs are traumatic events or situations during childhood, such as parental separation, abuse, or neglect, that can have lasting effects on a child's mental and physical health. Research shows that children who have stable, supportive environments, with both parents involved, are less likely to develop mental health issues or engage in criminal behavior later in life. CMS's narrow focus on financial contributions ignores the broader role of healthy co-parenting in reducing ACEs and promoting child well-being. By neglecting the importance of both parents' emotional involvement, CMS may be contributing to the cycle of dysfunction, leading to long-term societal issues such as substance abuse, mental health disorders, and higher rates of imprisonment. The ripple effects of CMS's shortcomings extend far beyond the individual father. Fathers struggling with mental health issues, financial stress, or societal stigma are more likely to experience substance misuse, homelessness, or even imprisonment. The financial strain imposed by CMS, coupled with enforcement actions like wage garnishment, can drive many fathers into poverty or unstable housing situations, further damaging their mental health and well-being. These issues have broader societal impacts. Men who are overwhelmed by financial and emotional burdens are less able to contribute positively to their communities, maintain stable employment, or build healthy relationships. This can lead to a host of systemic problems, such as rising crime rates, increased pressure on social services, and intergenerational cycles of trauma. The current CMS system, by focusing solely on financial contributions, fails to address the deeper issues affecting families, thus perpetuating a cycle of dysfunction that harms both fathers and their children. The child maintenance services system is deeply flawed, focusing almost exclusively on financial obligations while neglecting the emotional and psychological needs of both fathers and their children. By treating men as mere financial contributors and failing to account for their consent, mental health, or broader life circumstances, CMS often creates more harm than good. Fathers who are overwhelmed by financial and emotional strain are at risk of experiencing mental health decline, substance abuse, and homelessness, all of which have broader societal repercussions. CMS also fails to incorporate important early interventions, such as addressing adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, which could promote healthier co-parenting relationships and better outcomes for children. Without reforms that consider the holistic well-being of all parties involved, CMS will continue to perpetuate cycles of poverty, mental health issues, and family breakdowns. To truly support families, CMS must implement reforms that balance financial obligations with emotional support, accountability, and co-parenting. A more humane approach would include mental health services for fathers, ACEs-informed policies, and a focus on ensuring that child support payments are directly benefiting the child. Only then can CMS truly fulfill its purpose of creating a stable, nurturing environment for children, while also respecting the rights and well-being of fathers.